Hello everyone, it's Shox. We are having a new topic today. We're gonna talk about 3D Max, my French mates, about what makes them click. Actually, you know, 3D Max is at the moment we are talking is top 10 team in the world. So it's been like some times now they're grinding like step by step in the ranking. But why actually are they clicking out together? How are they managing to be a good team? What are their strengths, their weaknesses, and a lot of things. So a lot of stuff to talk about 3D Max, which I think is definitely like interesting to get more, I would say, details about how the team is evolving. So the thing about 3D Max, as I said, they are top 10 in the world, as you can see, and the top 11 is actually like behind them for like 50 points, which is like kind of huge. So it's more like a secure top 10 ranking, I would say, you know, not like a top 10 that can be like maybe 11, 12, 13. No, it's a solid top 10 that might be even better maybe with the time. First thing we're gonna talk about is the strengths. The strengths about 3D Max. So first of all, I think what is their biggest strength is talking about the players itself. What I mean about the player itself is they have 5 players totally consistent. If you look at the statistic, the past 3 months, you have Body at 0.88, you have Maka at 1.12, you have Lucky at 1.09, you have Exercise at 1.03, and Gravity at 1.01. This is, in my opinion, a really big strength because yes, they don't have that superstar that is maybe averaging like more than 120, 25, 130, you know, but in the same time, they don't have especially like weak player with maybe averaging 0.8, 85, 90, stuff like that. So they are very like average all overall and really like consistent, which make it a really big strength for them. Because when you don't have some really like lower players, I would say, then it means like every player on the team can actually step up, whatever the run it is, whatever the side it is, and something can happen. You know, you can actually rely on everyone, and this is definitely a big strength. Another thing about 3D Max is that they are playing together for some time now. I mean, the core Maka, Lucky, and Exercise is actually playing together. We're talking about years here, right? Gravity, he joined the team like some times ago now, and Body is just arrived that year, but he knows like all the guys here. You know, these guys are really friends. Gravity is maybe like the new guy, you know, the young guys, they didn't know him that much when he joined it. But Body, Maka, Lucky, and Exercise are actually friends outside of the server. So they know each other really well. Which I think is definitely a big strength when you playing together with since some times now. You have a lot of habits, I would say, that some other teams might not have because they are just switching one roster to another like every 3 or 6 months. These guys know each other for a really long time now, and I believe that more you play together, more you actually can feel comfortable together and actually play the same CS and having like the same vision. You know, having the same vision of CS in the same team is really important, and it actually takes way more time than you could think. Talking about the maps, this is another like strength for 3D Max is their map pick. Inferno, as you can see, it's their map pick, and on their map picks there are 17 win and 4 loss, which is actually insane. You know, like not a lot of teams actually have that much like win rate percentage while playing it that much. You know, it's actually really hard when people know which map you're gonna pick, because for example, you face 3D Max tomorrow, you definitely know they will pick Inferno, right? So you will definitely be ready for that. But even with this information, 3D Max is able to actually like win 81% of the time on their map pick, which is definitely a big strength. Their utilities is actually, I would say, like above a lot of teams and on both sides. If you look at, for example, here we're on the city side, you know, they are totally on the green, 31, 0.23, and we're talking about the ADR and the FA. So if you guys don't know what is it, the ADR in the utility is the average damage you're gonna do like with HE, mollies, and stuff like that. And the FA is like the flash assist, so how much you actually like help a teammate while flashing. And on these both departments, talking about the city side, you know, they are really good on it. And not a lot of teams are actually that good. You know, these numbers is actually really nice. And more than that is, even on the T side, I actually checked, because normally a lot of teams, when they have like a good, let's say they are good in that department on the city, they might have some weakness on the other side. But when you look at 3D Max, it's not the case, you know. Even on the T's, they still are definitely like above the average and are definitely good in that department. So it means definitely, and it shows that 3D Max talking about the nades, you know, overall, like all the nades, Molly, HE, Flash, they definitely know how to use it, and this is definitely a big strength for them. Something really important as well, you know, on CS, it's already like hard to actually win some pistol run, but a lot of times you might actually win the pistol round, but you're actually gonna lose like the anti-eco or anti-force, whatever you call it, you know, which is definitely not so much easy as you could think. And again, on that department, 3D Max is really good. Here we are talking about the city side. On the city side, when they're actually winning the pistol round, they're averaging 84.7% of win run to conversion, you know. Even the best player of the world, best team in the world, for example, Vitality, is at 82. So, and they are like above Vitality in that department. And this is definitely not that easy, trust me. So this is a big win. And even on the T side, the run to conversion is also really big. There are 84 here. For example, Vitality were there 88. Okay, maybe they are still better on T side, but still, it's actually really nice to have like 84. So on both sides, it means that when 3D Max win a pistol run, they're actually winning a lot of anti-ecos and anti-frostbite. You know, they are not like falling into that traps that many teams are actually going to. And also on the T side, they have 54.7, which is definitely a big number about the T pistol run win rate. So this is also definitely like a really good sign, you know, because it means when they're starting T, actually when they're playing the T side, these numbers shows that actually there is like a high percentage of chance that they might start the T side by winning 2-0 or 3-0, you know, which is definitely something important in, especially like in MR12. Now, the weaknesses, of course, the weaknesses, you know, you have strengths, so they have a lot of strengths, that's good. This is why also they are number 10 in the world, but they do have some weaknesses. First, we're gonna talk about the maps, the map pool. Even if the Inferno is actually really insane, the fact is, besides that Inferno, as you can see, and maybe Nuke, which is like, I would say like pretty fine, after, like, it's definitely a downfall. You know, Dust 2 is really average. Train, it's hard for them. Ancient, really hard map, and Overpass as well. So it means, for example, in best of 3 or best of 5 series, if only they are playing maybe a team that is not playing Inferno, Reed, for example, you know, or some other teams, they already are going into a match with a lot of handicaps because they're gonna play a lot of maps where they're not that good, you know. So this is definitely a weakness from 3D Max is the map pool. They need to upgrade it. The multi-kill on 3D Max is definitely not good. They are in red, odd.80, and I checked CT and T side and it's the same thing, you know. It's kind of funny, you know, which is strong in CT is strong as T, but which is weak as CT is also weak as T. Here we are in CT, you know, they are at 0.85, and on the T side, they are 0.75. So this is definitely not enough. That statistic shows that yes, they have a lot of players who are consistent, and as I said, it's really important, but they're also lacking of 1 or 2 players maybe being able to get that double kill, that triple kill, that actually like you are just like checking your teammates and saying like, thanks God, you are so good, bro. The city side win percentage is not enough for 3D Max, where they here 50.9. That side is actually pretty good because they are close to 55, which is a really good number. But 50.9 is not enough on city side. I would say it would be nice to upgrade it to at least 52, 53, you know, something like that. Like, but yeah, city side is definitely lacking of some firepower, you know, because lack of multi-kill. And this is like the opening kill, and same 55 in opening kill as city. This is not something you would like. You want to try to aim for 58 or stuff like that. And even when they're actually managing to get that 5v4 situation, they're only winning it like 72% of the time, which same, you want to higher it maybe to 75 or more. So their city side is showing some weaknesses. And when I'm talking about the city side, I'm also talking about the pistol. You know, they have a really good like T pistol win rate, but on the city they only are having like 49, not even 50%. So overall, I would say like the city side, we can see that this is definitely something like they need, they're throwing on, you know, like it's a team that is more comfortable on T than on the City side. So now talking about the individual players breakdown, the thing is like, it looks like they're all even on all the statistic, you know, which is kind of funny because honestly, it's I never like saw a team like things like this. I never saw a team like this, honestly, I think, because normally like a lot of teams have like a player which is like, for example, really good in that department is entering some on the trade, the other on the locker roll or stuff like that, the other on the utilities, and 3max is just like 5 players like really like I would say average and good in a lot of departments, you know, but they're not like super good in one, which is a good thing to be consistent, but you need some players to actually overperform in their department if you want to climb higher in the ranking against big teams. I would say that they probably need around like 2 guys. This is what you want in a team. Having 2 guys being able to make the big difference in important matches, which is definitely what they are lacking of. So it's good to be consistent, but it's also important to have 1 or 2 players overperforming on some really important matches. So what can they do to actually get better with their current roster? You're gonna ask me. Well, with everything we just said, there's actually some stuff that could be upgraded. For example, they could improve their map pool. That will be the first thing, which will make them a team more scary in best of 3 series. They could improve the city side overall. There is a lot of things that shows that the city side is definitely like weaker than the T side. So if they actually could keep that strength from the T side and just improve the city side overall, it will also definitely will help them like grabbing like more rank and maybe trying to get like the number 8, number 7, you know, stuff like that. Like they need a better city side and also of course city pistol. And they could also improve the multi-kill performance from the players. So maybe you should try to give more freedom to players to be able to let them being the monster that you want your teammate to be, you know? Because in some games, this is exactly what they need and what they don't have right now. Working with the system is very important and it will actually give you the consistency you need. But the thing is, you need to upgrade that system, if that makes sense. So players could individually reach new heights. And it feels like they do have a solid system together and they're all okay. But now they need to improve it to actually make 2 players maybe more comfortable than others, maybe some more freedom than others, so they could maybe overperform because they need this individual overperformance. Talking about the French scene, I know a lot of people will actually ask, but what shuffle will actually benefit for the team after the major in the French pro scene? But the problem, to be fully honest, is actually that we are lacking of talent in the French pro scene since some times now, since some years. So I bet the most important thing for them would be to actually stick together and keep evolving and upgrading their style so players can be better individually. But I don't think a shuffle, post-major or whatever would actually help them, because the thing is, there is no French player right now that would actually make that difference we are speaking about, you know. We are speaking about maybe if you want to actually replace someone, then it will mean it will maybe be that X factor that you need, that they are lacking, you know. But at the moment, there is no French player like that. You could also think about the international thing, right? But the thing is, like, by being international, they will for sure open themselves to a larger player pool, and they will have more opportunity, which for sure could upgrade the team on some aspects. But that being said, 3max is here today because they always stayed French and they kept the same core as much as possible. You know, like Maca Lucky exercise, it's been like several years they are playing together. And this is also their strengths and how they feel comfortable playing with teammates on the same language. So I'm not sure international will actually could upgrade 3max at the end of the day. It could, for sure, but it could also lower them as they don't have that much experience in that department. So that's definitely a question mark, and I will say that will be actually a gamble. My personal thought on 3max is if they keep the same core, the same 5 players for some time now, I won't be surprised that they could climb maybe to top 8, top 7 team, you know, in the world ranking. But that will be definitely the maximum, I believe so. And then it will be like either there was like a French, I don't know, French talent popping up with this individual performance that they need, or if they still want to go higher, they will need probably to go international. But I don't think even with a lot of time and a lot of work, they can compete with teams like Mongols, Vitality, Mouse, Spirit, you know, like they can, I believe, be able to win them on some matches, but not as consistent as needed to enter maybe the top 5 team in the world, you know. So yeah, that's my thoughts. What about you guys? Let me know in the comments.